All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking what is honestly a shocking reality in the world of local search, specifically for accounting and bookkeeping firms. Look, if you're a marketing director or a managing partner, you might want to brace yourself for this one. Google has actually published a free, official, step-by-step instruction manual for optimizing your business profile. I mean, it comes straight from the source and it covers absolutely everything. But there's a massive, massive catch. Almost nobody is actually reading it. 278. That is the exact number of accounting firm profiles that were recently audited right against Google's very own standards. And the findings? Honestly, they're staggering. Almost none of these firms have actually read this official playbook. And we're not just speculating here. Google literally tells businesses exactly what to do to get found. They're handing out the answers for free. I gotta be honest, I am genuinely puzzled by this. Google gives you a playbook that covers your categories, your descriptions, hours, photos, posts, reviews, services, the whole shebang. Yet, when an auditor opens up a typical accounting firm's profile, it's basically a ghost town. The playbook exists, the execution doesn't. It's all just sitting there, completely ignored. Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to do a rapid-fire look at the massive gap between what Google literally asks you to do and what these highly professional firms are actually doing in reality. The disconnect is probably going to blow your mind. Let's start with categories. So Google's playbook says you should select your primary category and then add up to 9 secondary categories. Categories are crucial, right? They tell Google exactly what your business does and determine which searches you're going to show up in. But the reality? Most accounting firms only use 4 or 5 of their 10 available slots. That means they are rendering themselves completely invisible for 5 or 6 specific types of searches. And get this, some firms have no category set at all, meaning Google literally doesn't even know what they are. The irony here is just staggering. For the business description, Google gives you 750 characters to provide a concise overview of your firm. And what do most firms do? They leave it completely blank, literally empty. Think about this for a second. These same firms have beautifully written, paragraph-heavy about pages on their websites detailing their rich history and expertise, but they can't be bothered to paste a single sentence into Google. Then there are the operating hours. Google's manual explicitly says to specify your operating times, and that includes holiday hours. They even point out that 96% of customers are more likely to visit a business that displays its hours. But the reality for a shocking number of these professional accounting firms, they're listed as open 24 hours. It just looks incredibly unprofessional, and worse, it leads to frustrated prospects actually driving to closed offices. And wow, this brings us to one of the biggest missed opportunities, reviews. The data shows that 91% of consumers use reviews to evaluate businesses, and 65% are more likely to choose a business that actually responds to them. Yet most of these audited profiles have glowing, detailed 5-star testimonials just sitting there for years without a single thank you in reply. Or even worse, the profile is entirely unclaimed, so the firm literally couldn't respond even if they wanted to. And this failure of execution just builds across the entire profile. Google says businesses with photos receive 42% more direction requests and 35% more website clicks. Reality? 0 photos on most profiles, just that gray placeholder image. Google says post weekly. Reality? 0 post ever. Google says list your services because 1 in 3 customers check offerings first. Reality? Services are listed on the firm's website, sure, but completely unchecked on Google. Social links? Missing, even though 20% of folks check social media before visiting. Free trust signals like accessibility or women-owned attributes? Totally unused. Direct contact features like bookings and chat? Completely ignored. You really have to stop and ask yourself, why is this happening? How are highly educated, detail-oriented partners at accounting firms failing at such a basic, completely free task? Google literally handed them the answers. Nobody opened the book. So the crucial point is this. This is not a knowledge problem. It's an ownership problem. Accounting firm partners don't wake up in the morning thinking about Google business profiles. They wake up thinking about client work, tight deadlines, staff management, and compliance. The playbook sits unread simply because nobody's job description actually says, read the Google playbook and implement it. But here is the incredible news. The fix for this is ridiculously simple. It takes exactly 2 hours. And everything you need is already free and sitting right there on your phone, on your website, or in your inbox. It just needs a person assigned to own it. Let's break down exactly how fast this is. Let's walk through the first half of this fix. Give someone 20 minutes to set the primary category and add all 9 secondary categories. Easy. Another 20 minutes to just copy and adapt the About page from your website into that 750-character description box. Take 5 minutes to correct those embarrassing open 24 hours mistakes and add your holidays. Then spend 15 minutes uploading photos of your team and office that you already have sitting on your server. Boom, that's exactly 1 hour so far. To finish the checklist, spend 10 minutes ticking your service boxes and another 10 minutes adding your social links. Take 10 minutes to create your first simple Google post. Maybe it's an update, an offer, anything. Dedicate 30 minutes to finally sitting down and responding to every single existing review, positive and negative. And finally, take 5 quick minutes to send a review link to 5 happy recent clients. Zero cost, not a single penny spent, and just 2 hours of total time delegated to a team member. Literally in 120 minutes, this massive, embarrassing blind spot is completely fixed, and your profile is suddenly fully aligned with Google's own standards. So why does all this matter? Well, here's the bigger picture. Google doesn't just give you a profile. They give you the instruction manual for how to win. The accounting firms who actually take a moment to implement this playbook are going to completely dominate local search. Meanwhile, the firms that don't will just keep wondering why their prospects are finding their competitors instead. Now, you might be wondering where all these incredulous insights come from. They come from VindMyBusiness, a Google business profile specialist that works exclusively with accounting and bookkeeping firms. They've audited over 300 firms in total against Google's own standards. And they haven't just identified the problem. They've actually built solutions, including 17 detailed guides and a completely free 17-lesson masterclass to help firms fix this exactly. If you're watching this and wondering exactly what your firm's profile looks like to Google right now, you can actually get a free scorecard. Your profile will be personally reviewed against Google's Playbook to show you exactly what's missing. There's zero cost, no pitch, and no obligation. Just go to vindmybusiness.com/scorecard.html to grab it. And if you want to dive deeper into these findings or take that free masterclass designed specifically for accounting and bookkeeping firms, you can find the Unclaimed blog at unclaimed.bearblog.dev. Or you can head directly to unclaimed.bearblog.dev/free GBP Masterclass for accounting firms. All the resources are literally just sitting right there waiting for you. Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. The answers are right here. They are completely free. Google handed you the exact instructions for how to win local search. The playbook is right there on the table. The only question left is, who at your firm is finally going to read it?